I think it's safe to say that all the RTO mandates going on right now are just a bunch of nonsense. It almost feels like they're just straight up lying to us because they have the reasons they tell us like productivity, collaboration, creativity. Then they have the real reasons like their commercial real estate value or how a quarter of bosses used RTO to get people to quit. Take a look.
Yes, it is basically a bunch of BS. Bosses and CEOs love to tell you that they want you to return to the office because they want you to have a better environment, that the office promotes a better culture and leads to better productivity and all of that. But the main reason that they want you to go back to the office is not because they are worried about you, it's because they want to protect an investment. They probably already have a big lease on a big office floors in a building somewhere. They probably bought a big campus in a very expensive city. And also, as he mentioned, many CEOs are using this policy of return to the office because they are expecting people to quit. As you guys know, there are many tech layoffs nowadays. People are getting fired everywhere in many companies, including the best ones such as Google, Apple, Microsoft. All of these big companies are firing people, and one of the tactics that they are using to make people leave the company is to tell them that you need to return to the office. This leads people to quit because if you're already living somewhere else and you are asked to return to the office, well, you will just have to find another job. So this is a tool to fire people without firing them. Yes, it is a shame that companies do this.
Look at this.
We should get rid of laptops and go back to desktop computers in the office.
I 100% disagree, but tell me more.
When you had only a desktop, you would go to the office, you would do all your working at hours, and then you'd go home and you'd be done. And then there was true work-life balance. And now we all have laptops and we're working all the time.
You never went home a single day.
Yeah, I mean, when companies exploit people, it doesn't matter if you have a PC or a laptop, they will ask you to keep working regardless. We had laptops all the time, and if we didn't finish our work, well, we just kept working there. It doesn't matter if it is a desktop or a laptop, you are always working.
After work and did more work? Is that so?
But wait, aren't employers going to lose productivity then?
I think they'll gain productivity because if everyone's going to be in the office 5 days a week, this would force people to get all their work done in those 8 hours.
Is that how it works? If you force people to go into the office, it'll force them to get all their work done, and it will force them to have a true work-life balance. I'd like you to take a look at Amber's page here. I provide insights for commercial real estate users, owners, and developers to shape their strategies for growth, arming occupiers, investors, developers, and commercial real estate with actionable insights. You sure you have no other ulterior motives to get people into commercial real estate buildings? Other than their work-life balance?
Yes, basically she wants people to use offices because, well, she's like a real estate agent or something like that. So she wants people to use offices.
Will be better? Really? This is insane. This is just insane. And then you have people like this guy, the head of production and creative operations over at LinkedIn.
Let's face it, there's more and more people headed back into the office.
Why do all of these ads for companies or commercials have this song playing on the background? Dun 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 dun. I don't know, it's just silly for me.
Today was LinkedIn's first 3-day-a-week return to office, and while that may stir up some feelings, let's actually make the positive of the situation because it's something we can't control.
Imagine having a backbone, guy. Just put a smile on because you can't control it. Corporate does, remember? Employee B025, get back in line. Oh, and by the way, this video is sponsored by myself, so if you're tired of dealing with companies like this and you're looking for something new, then check out my links in the description. We've got personalized resume reviews. I'll even make you a resume from scratch. And if there's something more you're interested in, like content creation, business, AI, then there's always the open consultation call.
First, there's a lot of value in actually talking to people face to face.
But here's the thing, when you go to the office, you don't talk to people face to face. You sit on your laptop, message people like usual, and hop on Zoom calls.
There's so many times.
what happened to me all the time. Bosses, CEOs, managers tell you that an office is a productive environment and it promotes collaboration because you get to talk to people face to face, but that's not always the case, especially in big tech companies. I work at a big tech company, and you know what used to happen all the time when I had to go to the office every single day? The first thing that I did is when I arrived at the office is I jumped into a Zoom call with people. Why? Because many members of my team were in other places, in other countries. Some members of my team were in India, others were in China. So it doesn't really matter if you are in the office or not. You have to jump into a Zoom call. So what's the difference between having a Zoom call in your home or in the office? It's just a bunch of nonsense.
Times I'm walking around the office and I'll grab someone for a couple minutes and ask their opinion.
And that right there.
Yes, by the way, I'm not saying that this is the case for every single company. I'm sure that many small companies have all the people working right there, so maybe it is different for some medium and small companies, but for big companies that are very globalized and have people everywhere and in many different countries, I just don't see the reason to force people to go back to the office.
There's why people don't want to come back, because they don't like being grabbed for a few minutes when they're in the middle of work.
This is really important, especially if you're starting your career, because it gives you that face-to-face interaction in an informal environment with some higher level people you may not otherwise talk to.
Let me pause there. So did you just say the office was an informal environment?
They are the most formal thing ever. Granted, in a tech startup or in a tech company, you can use your jeans and wear a t-shirt at work, but it is still a formal environment. You have to follow procedures, you have to follow certain protocols, so it is a formal environment.
What?
Next is creative collaboration. I know being creative, you often want to be in your cave, not talking to anyone, doing your thing, but how many times is it really valuable to turn around, talk to someone, and actually get...
Okay, so what's the difference between me working like this, and I turn around, or I just take a screenshot, send it to them on Slack and say, hey, what are your thoughts? Why do I need to be able to interrupt someone physically and get their attention? The only difference is now they can't just ignore you if they want.
Yes, and it is very annoying when you are in the zone, you are very focused or in your task, and then someone just touches you in your arm, and they ask you something. They just break your focus. That used to happen to me all the time, and I didn't like it.
In real time on a project you're working on.
Oh yeah, you get their opinion in real time as opposed to a few seconds later.
It's really about finding that balance. How can you find those spaces on the days you're in the office to still do that deep work, and the days you're at home to really create that space to be collaborative? So it really goes both ways. One tip I found is to find a little spot that you can call your own. Whether that's a little nook, whether it's the cafe, wherever it may be. Find a spot where you can sit down, put your headphones on, and do some deep work. The next tip I have is get some good noise-canceling headphones. Pop those things on and drown out the world around you.
Do you hear what you're saying right now, my guy? You want people to commute all the way to the office so that they can put noise-canceling headphones on, sit in a corner, and do deep work. Where's the benefits in that? So they have a couple meetings that they have to show up to where other remote people join via Zoom, but not you. You had to show up just so that you could show up to that meeting. It makes no sense.
You can actually concentrate on what you're getting done. I get it.
So you do admit that it's difficult to concentrate on getting things done at the office. Just because you have noise-canceling headphones on and you're sitting in a corner by yourself doesn't mean people like this guy aren't going to walk by and grab you for a couple minutes for your opinion.
Get it. Work from home gave us the balance, gave us the freedom in ways that we didn't have before. But I really think if you look...
So now they just took away all those freedoms and you're
Yes, they want to take away all of those freedoms. I don't like it.
okay with that. After working remote for 4.5 years, you just turn right around and say, okay, boss, I don't control things here. Yes, your liege. This is the most disempowering message I've ever seen someone give on LinkedIn. Why not give some actual advice? Like tell people to just always be applying to jobs, so if your company does some dumb stuff like this, you have some backups to go to. No, none of that.
Yes, I'm gonna give you guys a small tip. The best time to look for another job is when you don't need one. Always be prepared, always look out for yourself, because companies don't care about you.
Though, just put a smile on. You don't control it, little employee. You just work here for us, remember? Now go sit in the corner with your headphones on. Be a good little worker bee, okay? You wake up, commute to the train, take the train, get off the train, and then walk to work. Also that you can go put some noise-canceling headphones on and have some face-to-face come on. Why not question it, at least? Look at his comment. One trick someone on my team did was put a small mirror, like a biking mirror, on his monitor so he can see people coming up behind him. So something to brag about in LinkedIn comments. That's a...
That sounds very dumb. It's like telling people that you need to have those mirrors to not get scared about people scaring you.
coping mechanism. No one enjoys commuting, but it's far easier to meet and relate with people face to face. Well said, Dave. Great perspective. Oh, you work at LinkedIn, so you have to say that. Or take a look at this one. Just a bunch of CEO bros having a podcast.
First of all, going remote, is it cheaper? I don't know if there's anyone that does a good job creatively remotely, especially when you're talking about like true creative people, not people in creative roles.
I'm sorry, what is that sort of gatekeeping? So if you're a true creative, you need to be in the office, but if you're just in a...
I'm sure that there is a lot of people that do amazing work remotely. Again, I'm sure that working remotely is not for everyone. I'm sure that there are designers, engineers, and a ton of people in different areas and in different professions that enjoy working in an office. I'm sure that there's a ton of people like that, but some others just prefer to do work remotely. I mean, I don't understand why not just give people the freedom to choose between working remotely or going to an office. It is as simple as that.
creative role, you could work remote. That'd be okay. But if you're in a creative role, you can't be a true creative, right? Only true creatives can be in creative roles, if they so choose. I don't understand. What is with highlighting these words? As if there's some profound...
Yes, they highlight those words as if they had some kind of deep meaning when they don't. Remotely, creative people, creative roles. Why are those words highlighted?
Insightful statement.
I would argue with anybody that having people in person, the synergy, the relationships, the vibe.
The vibe, bro. But only with 5 eyes. Okay? And that's his argument. He'll argue with anyone. Because the synergy, relationships, and vibe.
There's so much value.
There's so much value, dude.
You can accomplish like a way we accomplish it is.
I love his videos. I love his content.
What is this? But you can accomplish it. It's like a way we accomplish it. It is. ... Well, I hope you're ready. Because that is incoherent AF.
But you just have to identify, like, is this a person, and I told that to everyone, are you a process person or are you a freedom person? Most people will say, oh, I'm freedom. I can, no,
Yeah.
no.
Isn't the question, are you process-oriented or people-oriented? And also, why can't you be both process-oriented and freedom-oriented? There's always a third option. Stop with the logical fallacies. So if it's all about the synergy in relationships and the vibe, let's take a look. Back to work, back to fun. Our corporate office put together their own DIY design station to get all the creative juices flowing.
Dun, 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 dun.
So corporate would much rather spend money making you a walking advertisement.
And I'm sure many of the guys that appear in these ads are just doing it and appearing happy because they are forced to appear there, but they aren't really like that happy. They are just employees and you do what your employer says, but
for their company, than letting you work at home and just be productive. We are better together. Welcome home, Nomi. Blech. Grab a Nomi and make it your ownie. Splash on some paint.
I don't get this. I didn't get that. Grab a Nomi and make it your ownie.
Do your best, then give them a home at your new desk. Oh my god. Cool. You get to do some finger painting. We really are 3 years old again. don't know why they included this shot, because they're having a pizza party. This person didn't even finish their pizza. They put napkins on it to cover it up so it doesn't look bad.
I like pizza.
Home is where the homies are, and that's not at the office. So go ahead and take this sign down. It's not about creativity and collaboration. It's because you don't trust them, because you don't see them, and you want to get rid of people without having to pay severance or unemployment. What kind of...
Yes, that's another reason that bosses want you to go back to the office. It's because they don't trust you. They don't trust that you are going to do your job and do it well. They feel like you are going to go out for a walk or you're going to be playing video games. And they don't trust you, so they want to keep an eye on you.
What kind of reasons did your boss give you for RTO? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, click that like button, click subscribe to see me call out way more of this, especially more of this, and just direct BS. And if you have anything you'd like me to showcase on the channel, then you can email, Discord, Instagram, however you want to do it. The links for all of that are down in the description. Having said all that, I hope everyone's doing well, and